Salve to discipuli. This is Magister Buddy, and this is the Stage 1 recorded lesson that will help you in your endeavors of reading Latin. First, let's talk a little bit about Latin nouns and a little bit about word order. Latin likes to name its nouns depending on its function. We call those different names of the nouns cases. Right now, we're going to talk about two different cases. We've got the nominative, and we have the ablative. Each of these has a function. The nominative is going to be the subject. It could also be the subject complement, and this depends a lot on the verb. So in this example, the kid sits. Sits here is an action verb. Kid is our subject. This is the noun. The kid is the one doing the sitting. In English, we know that the kid is the subject and therefore doing the sitting simply because of word order. In Latin, we would know that this is the subject because of how it is spelled. The last couple letters of the word would look a certain way, and that would indicate that it was our nominative. Here we have a linking verb. The kid is smart. Think of this as an equal sign. It's linking kid and smart together. So kid is the subject. Smart is the subject complement. In English, we just, again, know this because of word order. In Latin, we'll know it because of the endings. All right, then we have the ablative. Ablatives are objects of prepositions. For example, the kid sits in the kitchen. In the kitchen is a prep phrase. A phrase is just a group of more than one word going together. Kitchen right here is the object of that preposition. The preposition is in, so in the kitchen is a prep phrase. The kid is our subject, sits is our action verb, and the prep phrase in the kitchen is a prep phrase telling us where the kid is sitting. All right, quick review about prepositions. Here's a trick for remembering what a preposition is. It works 99% of the time. A preposition is a word that explains the position of someone or something. So you can see the word position in preposition. For example, under the bed, around the house, over the field, in the study. Under, around, over, and in are all prepositions. Bed, house, field, study are all objects of these prepositions. And in Latin, they would be in the ablative. All right, let's talk a little bit about verbs. So we have two types of verbs. We have action verbs that describes what the person is doing. We have linking verbs. It's just saying two things are the same. They're connected. So laborat means works. Sedet is sits. Est is just is. All right, let's put all of this into action. So what I would like you to do in a moment is copy down these 6 sentences. You're going to need to pause the video first and then copy down the 6 sentences. If you're looking at a noun and it's going with a preposition, it's a prep phrase, so just put it in parentheses and be done with it for the moment. If it's a noun just hanging out by itself, then it's the subject. If it's going with a linking verb, and right now our only linking verb is est, so if it's a noun and there's an est there, then you on the other side of the linking verb is probably a subject complement. If it's just an action verb, if it's saying that something that the subject is doing, put a V over it. All right, so pause the video, copy down these 6 sentences, and then we'll meet up again and discuss how you did. All right, so let's look at our first 3 sentences. Caecilius est pater. There's no preposition here, so we have no prep phrases. Caecilius is a noun, so I'm going to mark that as the subject. Est is a linking verb, so I'm going to put LV above it. Pater is another noun, and it's on the right side of a linking verb, so it's linking these 2 words together. I'm going to label this as a subject complement. And it translates as Caecilius is the father. All right, for the second sentence, we had a noun that was right next to a preposition. So we've got a prep phrase here, in the study. I'm going to put that in parentheses and set it aside for the moment. Let's look at what we have left. Caecilius is a noun. I'm going to label that as the subject. Est is the linking verb. We have no subject complement here. Instead, we've got a prep phrase, which is fine. So this sentence reads, Caecilius is in the study. It's not telling us what he's doing. It's just telling us where he is. All right, sentence number 3. We've got another prep phrase here. We've got a preposition plus our noun. So I'm going to put parentheses around that and set it aside for the moment. And look at what we have left. Pater is a noun. It's just by itself, so it's the subject. Labora is an action verb. It's saying something, it's saying what the subject is doing, so it's a verb. Father is working in the study. Now I'd like you to notice a couple of differences. Well, primarily one. The way that we read the first two was pretty much in English word order. The word order was the same. And that's in large part because there's a linking verb there. And that helps us out a lot at this stage of the game. So Caecilius is father. Caecilius is in the study. But when we had an action verb, we had to jump around a little bit. The father is working in the study. And that's just something it'll take a little while to get used to, but pretty soon it'll be second nature, so don't worry about it. All right, let's do our second set of questions. Cerberus est canis. Now I've got a couple of nouns, I've got a linking verb, I've got no preposition, so nothing to put in parentheses. Cerberus is our subject, it's a noun, and it's not going with a preposition, so it's just the subject. Est is a linking verb. And so since we've got a subject and a linking verb, the noun on the other side of the linking verb is a subject complement. The sentence reads, Cerberus is a dog. All right. Cerberus est in via. Well, we've got a noun here, but this one's going with a preposition, so I'm going to put parentheses around it, set it aside, and look at what we have left. So Cerberus is a noun by itself, it's our subject. We've got a linking verb here. We're going to translate it as is. So Cerberus is in the street. We don't know what he's doing, but we do know that he's in the street. All right, here we go. Canis in via dormit. In via, again, is a prep phrase. So we're going to put some parentheses around it, set it aside, and look at what we have left. Canis, it's a noun by itself, so I'm going to mark it as the subject. Dormit is an action verb, so I'm going to put a V over it. The dog is sleeping in the street. So just like the previous trio of sentences, the first two had a linking verb, and for the most part we read them left to right. Cerberus is a dog. Cerberus is in the street. But when we had an action verb, we had to jump around a little bit. The dog is sleeping in the street. All right, be sure to take notes on this and write down any questions that you have, and I will see you in class. Wale te discipuli.